Welcome to our Wednesday, March 8, 2017 edition of the Government News Brief. In the news this evening, mathematics kits being procured as Education Ministry rolls out a peer program to improve results in primary and secondary schools, Region 7 held posts to become community hospitals, and Commission of Inquiry into land titling underway. These and other stories when the news returns. Stay tuned. Thank you for staying with us. I am Renetta LaFleur. Here are the details. The Education Ministry continues to roll out its program for emergency education reform, PEER, towards improving the mathematics results among primary and secondary age students. Details in this story.
The Ministry of Education is in the process of acquiring mathematics kits for primary and secondary age students attending schools across the country. Chief Education Officer Acting Marcel Hudson explains that the kits will allow for students to have adequate materials while learning in the classroom.
The intervention has taken traction. We have begun to look at the procurement of mathematics kits so that our children could have hands-on materials even as they work, even as teachers teach, so they're more concrete materials rather than just teaching in abstract. We've had cluster meetings in the different regions.
The $337.4 million program for emergency education reform PEER is aimed at improving mathematics and English performance at the Caribbean Secondary Examination Certificate (CSEC) examination, and more particularly the National Grade 6 Assessment (NGSA). Chief Education Officer Acting Marcel Hudson explains that over 500 teachers have been trained in content and methodology, and needs assessments were conducted countrywide.
Over some 500 teachers would have been trained in content and methodology. We had the parental aspect with the parental involvement. We have gone to different regions, including Georgetown. We've gone to Region 8, which has been one of our weakest performing regions in the past. So we've gone to Monkey Mountain, we've gone to Cato, Parmakatoy, and the Madia. We've gone to, in Georgetown, we've gone to Sophia, we've gone to Camberville, and we've gone to the Redeemer Primary School in that area. And so we have done a number of things.
The results for English and mathematics at the grade 6 levels are alarming. In 2016, 10 and 11-year-old boys and girls took tests on core subjects, which resulted in 14% passing mathematics, revealing that over 12,000 of our children were not numerate. The PEER program provides an initial and rapid response that will administer diagnostic and needs assessments across the country. It will also train school administrators for improved monitoring and expand immediately the number of classes periods assigned to mathematics at both the primary and secondary levels. For the Government News Brief, Gabriela Patram.
The level of healthcare delivery in Region 7 will be upgraded through the transformation of several health posts. Delicia Haynes has the details.
Region 7's Chairman Gordon Bradford says access to emergency healthcare facilities in the region has its fair share of challenges. However, the Regional Democratic Council will be working towards upgrading health posts into community hospital, he explains.
We want to move away from saying health posts and we want to say community hospitals, because a health post doesn't cater for admittance and so forth. And if you're faced with any riverine community or like in the upper margin where people live far off with travel distances to access health care. So we're saying now that we must build community hospitals and at least should cater for about 5 or 6 beds. That if the doctor or the medics or the health worker would see somebody and this person might need to be observed for a period, you have the facility.
Similar upgrades have already been carried out at the Imbai Health Post, and works are expected to commence at the Waramadang Health Post this year. The regional chairman states that the Camarang District Hospital will undergo some upgrades during 2017.
We have to prioritize areas where Amadang houses the secondary school. And so ever so often you'd have students, so we have to. So we hope to do that this year at Waramadang. The Camarang Hospital is also slated for extended district hospital, because now Bartik has moved to a regional hospital. So Camarang now would be a district hospital. and we hope to improve in terms of the delivery of health care.
Region 7 has more than 20 health posts with 2 health centers, 1 district hospital and 1 regional hospital. The health posts are strategically located in communities where they provide services to residents of a number of villages and indigenous settlements. For the Government News Brief, Delicia Haynes.
An inquiry into long-standing land titling and other related unresolved land issues will be launched soon. Details from Tiffany Rodius.
The Commission of Inquiry will seek to address issues of land allocation, land management and land titling, Minister of State Joseph Harmon announced today.
His Excellency the President very shortly will announce the establishment of a Lands Commission, a commission to inquire, to examine and to make recommendations to resolve all the issues and uncertainties surrounding the individual, joint, or communal ownership of lands acquired by free Africans and claims of Amerindian land titling and other matters relative to land titling in Guyana.
Minister Harmon says the COI will be launched within the coming days.
And there's hope that all of the issues that have been unresolved over all of these years, that we'll be able to bring closure to them and resolve these issues in relation to land.
The government is working towards establishing programs that will guarantee the sustainable use of lands while ensuring land resources are used for the livelihood of the people. For the Government News Brief, Tiffany Rogers.
The government is working to implement programs to reintegrate deportees into the society. Isaiah Braffett tells us more.
Minister of Citizenship Winston Felix says the government first engages the relevant country's immigration officials before the decision is made to deport Guyanese. The minister explains that though there are private programs on stream to reintegrate deportees, also called involuntary remigrants, into society, the government is also doing its part.
I know that there are private initiatives being taken to assist in resettlement of what they call, involuntary migrants, right? There are programs developing privately, and government is also considering the best ways to assist these involuntary migrants to resettle in Guyana.
As of December 2016, there were almost 24 Guyanese deported from the United States of America. Some of them had left Guyana as children and knew no one here. Minister Felix emphasizes that Guyanese who often overstay beyond their expected time when traveling overseas also burden Guyana's immigration system.
There are those of the immigration deportees, those who visited the United States on one visa, overstayed the time, and they were eventually found and deported. We have been dealing with that all the time. The only new thing that might happen is the numbers which might be coming. That's the only thing that would be new, the numbers. But we have our fair share every year.
The Minister of Citizenship acknowledges that there are instances where Guyanese have had terrible experiences in other countries. He says, however, the underlying issue is with Guyanese following the immigration policies to decrease the number of deportations to Guyana.
These are issues we have been coping with day after day, week after week. I see no reason to dramatize it. We have a new situation developing in the world today, and all we have to do is to organize ourselves to be able to effectively manage the situation if the numbers increase at any one time.
The minister reiterates that the government will do its best to make deportees productive citizens, but urges the need for Guyanese to not overstay their time in other countries. Isaiah Braffett for the Government News Brief.
The operation of the chip factory on the island of Leguan will create employment for residents. Gabriela Patram reports.
30 jobs would immediately be created upon the completion of the chip factory. According to Head of Industries at the Ministry of Business, Sharon Alexander, the employment number will increase as the factory expands. Minister of Business Dominic Gaskin recently visited the site. He was satisfied with the construction, which is in its final stages. The factory is expected to increase economic opportunities and capabilities of vulnerable groups within the region, Minister Gaskin says.
We decided that we would complete it and then try to turn it over to a private operator to turn it into a viable business.
Minister Gaskin told Gina that the project is one that was inherited from the previous administration and was suspended pending a review. It was based on the government's review that the decision was made to complete it and then turn it over to a private operator.
We have invited expressions of interest for the operation of a chip factory in that facility because we have also the equipment, because the equipment was part of what we inherited. So we've had a few expressions. We are currently in discussions with one potential operator.
The Leg 1 chip factory was one of 4 projects, 2 chip factories and 2 call centers under the $1 billion Rural Development Fund RDF put on hold last year pending reviews. Additionally, a road and a bridge to gain access to the premises will be constructed by the government. These facilities will be completed by the end of the first half of the year. For the Government News Brief, Gabriela Patram.
As Guyana joins the rest of the world in celebrating International Women's Day 2017 under the theme Women in a Changing World of Work, Planet 50-50 by 2030, Minister of Social Protection Amna Ali notes that accomplishing Planet 50-50 entails recognizing the basis of the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development. The minister adds that women and girls must not be marginalized and excluded in areas such as access to education, decent work, equitable wages, and decent services. On behalf of Gina, we encourage you to be bold for a change and commit work towards equality for girls and women. This has been another edition of the Government News Brief. The details of these and other stories can be found on Gina's website. We encourage you to subscribe to our website and YouTube channel. You can also like and follow us on Facebook to be updated as the news unfolds. Remember to join again tomorrow for another edition of the Government News Brief. I am Renette Lafleur. Thank you for watching.